All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast After Show. Um, I don't know, a lot going on. I mean, like I said, we were talking about the drones. The drones are crazy; they're everywhere. Nobody's doing anything, and I find that concerning. Um, a government who you can't trust i- is not worth anything. You had an example of maybe another government that might be letting down its people, Kevin.
Yeah, well, I mean that's nothing new. So it's
Okay.
talking about Russia. We're talking about a soldier, not a soldier, a sailor who
Oh,
was fighting on the ground. So he was on a ship that was sunk by Ukrainian drones. I think it was a Neptune. What do they call it? Neptune 2 underwater drone. But
okay.
regardless, his ship sank, and apparently the higher ups were not happy with the way they behaved themselves, and so they sent all those soldiers into combat on the ground, all those sailors.
Okay.
um as far as I can tell, they all died except for
Mm,
one.
all right.
He actually got sent back early because he had a severe concussion and multiple shrapnel wounds. Got back to Russia. They started trying to treat his wounds, and he had severe radiation poisoning.
Now, how does that happen?
That's a good question. They said that he got the radiation because he washed his clothes in radioactive water. Now, personally, I'm not really familiar with how that radiation works, but it seems to me that that radioactive water would have to be really radioactive, that just washing your clothes in it and then wearing the clothes later on is going
Right.
to give necrosis, like your body just starts rotting and parts fall off. Your bones
That's
disintegrate.
crazy.
His bones are disintegrating in his body. So the question is he the only one that had the radiation poisoning, or is he just the only one that didn't die from
Already. Right.
already from whatever? They
What
sent him
I,
to front lines,
yeah.
which is weird to do if somebody has radiation poisoning. But where did the radiation poisoning actually come from? Because that's obviously bullshit. You know what I mean? If you're
Right.
washing your clothes in radioactive water, that radioactive, the water is going to take you out. Right?
Where
So
did the water come from, Kevin?
exactly, like none
Yes.
of this stuff makes any sense aside of the dude is rotting
Right.
from the inside out.
Right. Yeah. According to the article, he's rotting from the inside out. But what I found most concerning about the story is he's not like, oh God, I'm going to die. This is the end of the world. It's so horrible. Instead, he's like, just don't send me back to freaking Ukraine.
Right.
That's what's concerning.
Hmm. Yeah. So the whole thing is a little bit strange to me. Um, I think that there's more to the story. There's only like 3 or 4 stories about this. Like, there's not a
Okay.
whole lot of info about it.
I'm
Nobody,
surprised anything's getting
yeah,
out, to be
nobody
honest.
followed up on it. And the only reason that anything came out is because his lawyer is
Mm.
trying to advocate for him to not go back to Ukraine. I mean, he's obviously he's doesn't even seem like he's going to survive. If your
Yeah.
bones are disintegrating and you have multiple pieces of shrapnel. Now, it's true that Russians are built different, and this guy has actually had a bullet in it lodged in his head for the past 30 years.
Who
So
doesn't, really?
I don't know what was going on in the past. He got it, he said, in the 90s,
Mm.
but I don't know how you get shot in the head and then you're still fit to serve, I guess. But, whatever, dude. I guess you could
Yeah.
just make up whatever you want and say whatever you want if you're Russia, and
Yeah.
if you're the United States government, either one.
Well, that's the thing. Like radiation sticks around. But my understanding, most now obviously there's different types of radioactive material, right? Turns out that there's many
Mhm.
things that can cause radiation poisoning, but like most of the stuff when we do our prepper stuff, the half life is like 24 hours. It's
Right,
half as bad as it was the day before,
right,
so it can't be good. Like it's got to be pretty potent right in the
right.
beginning,
That you can wear the clothes a week, 2 weeks later, and
yeah,
die from it, die
yeah,
from your clothing, because that's the water that's not even in the clothes anymore. That's how potent that radiation was, that the clothes after they've dried are still radioactive enough to disintegrate your bones and make your foot rot off.
Yeah.
The other thing we talked about real quick on the last podcast, but we might have been cut off there, is Ukrainian or Iranian designed kamikaze drones that have been flying to Ukraine from Russia have been getting redirected and turning around and flying back to where they came from and blowing up there. So, like, I guess somebody sent them like some reverse Uno cards. Like, I don't know how that happens, but it's like, no, you. But if the drones that were flying over the United States are Ukrainian, I don't know why we can't just send them back. But apparently we're behind the curveball on the tech that's going on in Ukraine right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, we're not up to par. I mean, that's kind of the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're not at war technically,
right?
But does that just mean that anybody can do whatever they want and we don't do anything about it so that we stay out of wars? Like, are we that scared of everything?
Yes, we are actually. That's one of those things. Sorry, I was trying to pull up some important stuff, but I had pictures of all the deer in the backyard and I get excited. It's hunting season.
Getting wound up.
Like, well, so I was like, oh man. So I was looking last night and there's like 6 deer sitting in front of my camera. And dude, I haven't even put out corn or nothing. You can do that where I live, and nothing this year. And the deer are just like nonstop in the backyard. I think it's because I haven't been out there messing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, they're like, yeah, yours is the safe yard. The rest of them are crazy, but
you're not even out of here.
Oh, now Slowburn here says he bought a DJI drone. Now they're the ones that are they're cutting edge. They're like the coolest, right? That's what my kids got, and they're all excited about it. But they're also the ones where it's supposed to be sending all the info to China. Is that right, Slowburn? That they're made by China and all that. But really, what isn't made by China? That's kind of what it comes down to.
Right. Well, apparently everything in Walmart, because Walmart said that if these tariffs go into effect,
they're gonna have shut down.
Yeah, you're fucked. Like, if you shop at Walmart, all the prices are gonna go up by whatever the tariff is. Wow. So also there's a article out today that Trump said he would lower the food prices when he got in an office, and now he said that was bullshit. So I don't know what the deal is with that. He said once they're up, you can't lower them again. Which is
that's how
the exact opposite of what he said when he was running. But I mean, that's standard for a politician to say whatever they want to get elected and then just be like, psych.
Slow says they don't need to worry about the feed they're getting from his drone. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just, that was one of the things that I heard in one of the security reports I read, was all like, oh, well, China owns DJI. It's kind of like TikTok. It's like, oh, yeah, they're getting all that information from us.
Right.
And I don't know if you've seen the information on TikTok.
Well, I think the big thing with the TikTok is not that sounds so old, the TikTok.
Kevin's old.
The thing with those is, I think is interesting, is they have all these free filters on TikTok where you can see what you look like as an old person or a young person, or if you're a woman or a man. But they're basically like capturing your digital signal and looking at everybody that's in your contacts. Just be aware that TikTok can access everybody in your contact book and everything that's on your phone if you have the app on your phone.
All right. So just keep it in mind. That, and there may be giant Chinese drones flying all over everywhere. So, all right. Well, Kevin, it's Friday. We got to go do things. Friday the 13th. I got to go find some place to sit and drink beer or something. And or
this is Jason Voorhees Day, and he's
there.
Out.
You go.
He's out. So
that's it. It's time. So with that, stay safe, and we will talk to you guys next week. Appreciate you.